So we were at the Book Cadillac Westin Detroit we were there for 2 nights, 3 days for the Great Lakes Relocation Council Conference.
Don't forget the council.
Didn't. Kind of did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyway, so we were downtown for that, and that was really cool. Thomas and I actually elected to sleep together. Different beds, same room, fiscally responsible.
There was a nightstand in between us.
But we had no coffee table, so we moved the nightstand forward, pushed the 2 beds together, and then we had furniture. We had a suite.
This is getting cut out of the episode. So,
okay.
But it was very. The conference was very fun. I can't recover from this.
Camera 1.
Dang it.
Yes. So, do you want to take it from the top?
You are now listening to The Gross Up.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
1, 2, 3, action.
Hey, everybody. It's the Gross Up Podcast. This is Ben Cross.
Thomas Bailey.
And we are here to talk a little bit this week about new decisions, lifestyles, wellness.
And I'm happy.
He's kind of. I'm happy too. I'm happy you're happy.
If you know me, you know that I'm extremely into just health on all levels, and so today's really exciting for me.
Well, let's go all the way back to last week when we
Okay.
decided to share a room together down in Detroit
Rewind.
for 2 nights.
Yep.
Actually, it was at the Great Lakes Relocation Council Conference at the Book Cadillac Westin Detroit. And I went down there. I was part of the planning committee. Thomas went down there for networking to attend. And we actually bunked together. And it was kind of cool because we've done conferences together a lot of times.
Never shared a room.
Never anything that intimate. But what's interesting is we're so alike and yet so different. And what I got to see firsthand was Thomas's, his regimen, if you will, or his daily routine, the way he kind of conducts himself when he's on, when he's off, when his clothes are on. And so anyway, it really brought things into focus for me. And I also did my typical conference thing and networking and everything like that. And I started to begin to think about things, and I was like, man, I'm really proud of Thomas and really happy for him and what he's been able to accomplish and do the last couple of years with some of the decisions he's made. And so it got me thinking, and I went into the weekend, and spent a lot of time with the family and kind of recharged and spent time with them prior to a very long travel schedule that I have coming up.
Yeah.
And the more I spent time with them, the more I reflected back on my week previously, I thought to myself, I'm like, I need to make better decisions from a health standpoint, from a lifestyle, health and wellness standpoint. And I thought, who better to model myself after than my good friend and co-host, Thomas Bailey.
Well, and that just brings a tear to my eye. But that, I'm glad that you said that, because when we talked about it yesterday, I didn't know what kind of sparked this whole thing. I mean, I just was, I didn't realize that had any impact. So I'm very glad we did spend a night together. And you called it, the funny part was you called it, what'd you say, the 30-day Thomas Bailey challenge.
Yeah.
And number one, he said that just straight up, I want to do a 30-day Thomas Bailey challenge. And I'm like,
what
I
is
have no
that?
idea what that is. Does that include, are you going to be black for 30 days? I mean, I didn't know what he wanted to do,
Everything's on the table at this point. But here's what I got on my short list, right? 1, Thomas is a vegan. Anybody that follows him, especially on Instagram, knows that he is a vegan runner, and I admire those things. I've never done those things. I've never much less done them together. So I was like, okay, let me try this veganism thing.
Mm-hmm.
Huge departure from my daily routine. I literally probably eat meat 3 times a day, or have eaten meat 3 times a day for most of my life. And it's going to be challenging. It's total rewiring of my daily habits and what I eat and what's for lunch and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, looking at what Thomas has done and the results he's achieved, that's great. So I'll kind of go into a little bit more of the impact of that as I'm on day 2 right now of the 30-day Thomas Bailey challenge, which, by the way, has a hell of a ring to it.
The 30-day Thomas Bailey challenge sounds amazing. And it is now going to be patented. So if your name is Thomas Bailey out there, sorry for you.
You're
can't
done.
Use it. You're done.
You're done.
It's over.
Challenge no one.
No, you got to go with initials or something like that. TB challenge, but that doesn't sound very good because tuberculosis is very close.
And Tom Brady, nobody likes the Patriots. So anyway,
So-
back to the Thomas Bailey Challenge. So veganism.
Yep.
I call these the 3 principles of Thomas Bailey's lifestyle.
Ooh.
I'm basically writing your book,
I am
and you're just going to
liking
be the
it.
pretty
I'm
face
taking
on
notes,
the cover.
right?
We're splitting the royalties on this.
Oh,
All right,
sure.
so veganism.
Yep.
All right, so healthy eating habits. The second one is alcohol free.
hmm
So Thomas, you want to tell us a little bit about how long you've been alcohol free?
So I've been alcohol free for 2.5 years. I like to call it sober, but I've been sober for 2.5 years.
I didn't go that far.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been sober for 2.5 years, actually like 2 years, 8 months or something like that, but I'm not counting, you know?
God bless.
Yeah, so that's that part. What's the third one? I'm really interested.
Third
to see
one
what this-
is exercise.
exercise. Okay, cool. And then the exercise actually came with the sobriety. The day.
Which
or
one was
month-
first?
Oh, sobriety first.
Sobriety was first.
And then like 2-3 weeks into that, I was like, got to do something with this energy, you know. And immediately
time.
started going to a lot of time.
Mhm.
Started going to the gym, and then a year or so into that, then I got into running. And shout out to Tim Hellenthal from National Van Lines. He's the reason why I even thought about running. He called me one day and said, "Hey, you work out. You should come run a half marathon with me and my company in Chicago in 2 months or 3 months or whatever it was." I was like, sure, why not? 13 miles doesn't seem very bad, and I trained for it. Got out there in the rain, ran 13 miles, raised money for Move for Hunger for the first time ever. Amazing. And
So you did run the full 13?
ran the full 13.
How much did you train up to that?
I trained like maybe I think it was like 6 to 8 weeks I had of actual training, but I was working out in the gym for about a year. But it's a
So
different.
you were already fit.
I was fit, but I thought that it was just gonna be so easy because I'm already.
I thought
fit,
it would
you
be
know?
easy too.
But once running a distance over like a mile or two or whatever, you get to a point where it's like it's a different engine. It's more of an aerobic situation than the anaerobic, which is anaerobic is when you get your heart rate over like a certain like 150 beats per minute or something like that. Then you kick into if you expend that aerobic energy first and get anaerobic way too quick, then you'll just run out of gas, and that's why people hit a wall, blah blah blah. So it's just definitely a different feel. Like, you know, like those bodybuilders, they can't go run 13 miles or they don't want to either. You know, so it's definitely a different thing. And I was much bigger at one point.
And you stopped lifting.
I stopped lifting. I stopped heavy lifting. I still do a lot of strength training and core and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm still in the gym, but I'm just not lifting like what they call lifting, like power. You know,
Right.
like
More
trying to
Pilates
get big. I'm not
and like
more Pilates and stretching in yoga. I haven't done yoga yet, but I'm trying to get into that.
more Taibo.
Yeah, more Taibo-ish type things. But so that was my journey into fitness. And I want to really quickly. I'll try to make this quick if I can.
It's your show, man.
So you, what you said about, you know, the fact that you said you went home after that week or those 2 days of us together, and went back with your family and kind of sat around and looked at them and kind of took it all in a little bit. The reason why I stopped drinking was for that exact same reason, and then why I got into fitness was spurred by that reason as well, and then why I've continued to do it and kind of not looked back, and then even the vegan thing. I've been vegan since for a year and a half as well. So I just kept piling it on. I did one thing first, which is sobriety, and then everything else was added after that. And because my father died at 39 of a stroke, right? And that's super. I mean, if you know anything about strokes, most people are at least 40s, 50s typically when you have that type of issue. So I looked back. I'm 35 now. I was 33 when I stopped drinking, and I was like, I got to make a change. Like there has to be something different. I can't check out of here. My kids need me past 39. So that's what made me want to change and get in a healthier zone and lifestyle. So that's why I'm kind of rolling with it. And I'm glad to see that you're even thinking about doing something like this. And the 30-day challenge, from going from doing everything you were doing before to just saying, hey, I'm gonna do this 30 days. That's commitment. That's showing that you really want to make some changes.
Well, and I wanted to put it on on a recording too,
so we can hold you to it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna make sure this comes out right away. So there's day 3. You have no excuses. Okay, so what did we talk about yesterday? So going through this 30-day thing. So we're gonna start with the non-drinking thing, and you've done that before in the past. So I think that's probably a pretty easy step for you.
Well, I haven't done 30 days in a row in a long time.
Okay.
So that's a big one for me. Like it's not like every January I do a dry January or something.
Right,
It's
right.
like a thing. No, when I mean, I put some days together, it's like 4 or 5, and I'm
Right.
like, I'm patting myself on the back.
Okay.
So that's big. You know, that's going to be huge, and I think that's going to be. You talked to me about something maybe 2 years ago when you kind of started,
Okay.
you know, your journey, and it was about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something like cornerstone habits or something. You know, I forget what it's. Am I
Keystone.
Keystone habits? Yes.
Yep.
And so there's one habit you might have that then like other habits like kind of like are supported by.
Yep.
And when you pull out that keystone habit,
It's like a domino effect.
then
and
all the
things
other
just
habits
start-
fall into place. And for
Yep.
you that was drinking, I think for me that could be drinking too.
Yep.
So I pull that out, and all of a sudden now, you know, I get healthier and I lose weight, and then okay, well now that makes me able to exercise more, and okay, well then that makes me want to eat better, you know, to put the better
That's
fuel in my
exactly-
body, right?
That's exactly what happened to me.
And, you know, and all of a sudden now, oh boom, now I have more time, you know, I have more free time for my family or my work. Now I'm getting to work earlier. I'm getting more sleep, so I'm
Yep.
a better husband and father because I'm less short-tempered. I mean, like all of these things can start to, you know, compile. And so, you know, for me, the thing that really made me think about this and really want to take action was I feel like I have a lot of potential,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't always feel like I live up to my potential.
Yep.
And I think a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah. 100%.
But, you know, I don't know. I feel like I have an obligation
Yeah.
to like a lot of people,
Yeah.
my family, my community. I feel like I have an obligation to God, you know? And so I'm like, well, how do I, you know, honor that and be the best person I can be and be what I was put here to, you know,
Right.
do what I was put here to do. And I felt like, you know, alcohol like gets in the way of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you're staying up late and in the moment it feels amazing, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the conference last week, we're partying, we're in the club, whatever, we're out till 2:00 in the morning and everybody's having a great time and laughing, you know, ridiculous. It's just great. Making all these relationships. Well, you know what's funny about those relationships too? In the morning, when you see people, like nobody wants to make eye contact with you.
Yeah. It's like,
Because everybody's kind of ashamed of what they were
Right.
doing the night before. They're
Yeah.
like, did I do anything? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel weird even being here all like red-eyed and, you know, whatever. And so it's like, so I used to think those relationships were incredibly important because the bond you make over alcohol in those types of situations is a unique bond. But I also realized like there's also shame that comes along with that, and people carry that. And so they might be more reticent to actually like re-engage as well,
Yeah.
you know? And then there was also like a lot of stigma that comes along with it, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not ashamed. Listen, I try to live my life with as little shame as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a huge duty and obligation, like I said before, but I don't try to carry a lot of shame. And I actually call people out when they try to shame me because thanks to Tanya Maritini, I read Brene Brown's Daring Greatly, and now I
I gotta
understand what
check that out.
shame
Daring
is.
Greatly.
Daring Greatly.
Okay.
Skip to the chapter about men and shame.
Okay.
It's phenomenal.
Okay.
So anyway, so my point is, lastly, about the drinking thing is like, I feel like there's a lot of shame that people try to put on me and a lot of stigma that people try to put on me for like staying out late,
Yeah.
for, you know, had a little badge on that said party animal,
Yeah.
you know, and people
Yeah.
are like, what's that supposed to mean? I'm like,
Right.
I mean, he's party animal.
It's
Like,
party animal.
yeah, I mean, I'm not accepting the shame you're trying to put on me,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I realize in order to do the things I want to do, I need buy-in from people that sometimes can't see past those stigmas. So
Right.
anyway, so I was like, okay, let me take control of this situation and let me try to be better.
Yep. And I think, and I was in your exact same boat, you know, and I actually thought that I couldn't do this whole conference thing without drinking. You know, like I'm like, how am I gonna do this? But I mean, we hang out still. You know, I didn't go out the last time.
Well, you were out till midnight,
I
probably.
think it was like 1 o'clock.
12:30,
and just drinking, you know, water or whatever
Yeah.
you got to do, or
Mhm.
whatever is your substitute, I guess, or your drink of
Mhm.
choice.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, you still get to have fun. You still have that whole thing. And even if there is a stigma, you know, surrounding like the being out late thing, I don't feel any shame about it because I know for sure that, you know, I wasn't even.
You weren't
drinking.
doing anything wrong.
I wasn't even drinking. I
Yeah.
mean, I may have stayed out late because for a different reason, I guess. You know, because my
Mhm.
reason to stay out before till 2:30, 3 o'clock was really just to continue drinking. You know,
Mhm.
and it was cool to be around you guys and have fun and all that stuff. But now it's like once I feel to the point where I'm past the point of like this is productive for me. Like
Yeah.
it gets to that point where like, okay, I got about 15 minutes of productivity left, and I'm out.
Well, you bring up a good point, right? And I think one of the rules of thumb might be if you stay out until the bar closes, then you were out to drink, not to network.
And then if you get caught up with and it happens often. If you get stuck with a nice little group of people where you really do feel like this is a good moment, and I don't want to walk away from these 3 people that are having a great time, and it's like a potential client, or whoever, something that really could benefit you in the future. You got to make that decision because that'll still happen, drinking or not. You may stay out later because somebody just wants to keep going, and you just say, sure, I'll hang with you, But I make the decision to leave for a different reason.
But you're in control of that.
Yeah,
that
absolute
situation.
control. Because honestly, drinking alcohol is a mind altering thing. So it's not like it may not be as hard as some of the other things that people do or whatever. But it definitely changes how you think and how you act. So if I leave, it's because I know it's time for me to go and I got to do something at 8 in the morning or whatever it is. So
I try to look
helps
for
me make decisions.
I try to look for one of my favorite terms lately has been trap, right? So this actually came from words. Was it words? Cards Against Humanity. Cards Against Humanity. One of my favorite words. There's a lot of great cards in Cards Against Humanity. You ever played this game?
Yeah,
it's terrible. You're like, where is this going?
Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
One of these cards. One of my favorite black cards in there was blank. It's a trap.
Okay.
And then so of course you play some really foul stuff, whatever. And
Yep.
It's a trap. But I feel like alcohol, it's a trap.
Yeah, it is.
Because in the moment, you're feeling amazing. You're
Yep.
feeling like a world beater. You're like, these are the best friends I'm ever going to have.
Yep.
And I love this moment.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. And then you wake up in the morning and you feel like dog doo-doo.
Yeah.
And the people don't even look you in the eye.
And some people don't even remember.
And then you spend a bunch of money and ingested a bunch of, you're basically poisoning yourself.
Yep.
You're killing yourself slowly,
Yep.
And so anyway, not to be a total downer, I'm not begrudging people that choose to use alcohol at all.
Right.
I'm just saying this is a different perspective.
Yeah. It's
a change in my
the other side of things. Yeah. And then so for in people, some people don't drink, and they have food does this for them. So people's relationship with food is a big thing too. Because if you're what do they say? Don't live to eat, eat to live.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever feel like that is, if without food you're angry, and everybody gets a little hangry.
He's talking about me right now.
Right now, I'm
100%
talking
about me
directly
right now.
about you. Like literally, he was upset. With
Literally, I was on the phone like, "Where are you right now?"
Bring me
a snack, a vegan snack.
And we'll talk about these vegan snacks in a minute.
Yeah.
But for the food thing as well. What made you? Because drinking, changing. You said 3 things, right? Stopping drinking is one thing that's huge, right? Because it was huge for me. I didn't think I could go honestly a week. Like a week was like a big deal, right? But I made a firm decision and it worked out. I kept going. So drinking is big enough, and then exercising is another thing too. But why food? Because for the most part, America as a whole, or most people, the world really thinks that the American diet is normal for us. So going outside of that, like the American diet, what they say is healthy. You have your protein, you have your carbs, you have
the
your
food pyramid.
Right, the one that you have to have these things. You
Right.
need
Staples.
a steak to be strong and big.
To be a man,
you need milk and steak.
You got to eat a ribeye every night for dinner to be a man.
Right. Yes, exactly. So what made you decide that was part of the thing you wanted to do?
Well, I think it goes back to having control, right? And I think I looked at food as being one of those things I did not have control over.
Okay.
Right. And so if I want to control my life, I have to be able to control my actions within that life, right? In order to get the outcomes that I'm looking for. And I see some of the stuff that we're doing right now as being an inflection point in my life. And if I want to see it through to the level that I think that God has intent in store for us and me, then I need to take control over these things that have controlled me.
100% in the driver's seat.
Yeah, because otherwise the car's not going to go where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And if I'm speaking at an engagement and I'm seriously overweight, it's like, are people even going to be able to focus on the words that I'm saying? I wonder about that. Because when I watch a video of me speaking, sometimes I can't even, you know what I mean? That's all I'm thinking about is, damn, bro, like, you really gained a lot of weight, you know?
Right.
And so I feel like I'm one of the more confident people out there. And so if I'm struggling with this, it's like, man, I need to like fix this, because I also feel like maybe this is an opportunity for me to help other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because that's like one of my core my core pillars is like
to help, yeah,
to help other people. Like I care about myself a lot, but like if I could like help like 5 other people, like that to me would be even more important to me.
Yeah, and then when I did the whole, not drinking and then vegan thing and all this stuff I did for me first, and then because everybody else that's in your life benefits from your changing.
Right.
But I had no idea that people would, I was kind of minding my business a little bit, but then so many people have told me like, oh, I did this. My mother went vegan because of it without me even like, no
Incredible.
pressure involved.
Right.
So I mean, there's so many people that are watching what you do, and like you're one of your biggest things to say is giving people permission, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, number one, you're being extremely vulnerable right now, and then number two, people seeing that vulnerability and then watching you probably, because I'd love to keep talking about this as you go through the 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing you go through that, there's gonna be so many people that it may not be drinking, it may not be food, whatever it is. If there's something that you feel like you just don't have control over, just take a 30-day Thomas Bailey challenge and don't do it. For 30 days.
Don't do it.
Don't do that thing for 30 days.
That'd be a short book.
So you have to have.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Open the book. Don't do it. Close the book.
I read a book this week.
Right. Yeah, I read it 5 times in a week. So what? I know you have to have questions, and I'm sure other people do as well about like anything.
This vegan thing, right? So I consider myself an expert at eating food.
Okay.
And this vegan thing has stumped me to the core. Okay.
Okay.
So I started my vegan journey last night.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I like to say afternoon because I had an early lunch and it was.
So he's really on like day 1.5.
I'm on day past 24 hours. I mean, no.
That's one day.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm past the day.
Okay. Cool.
I'm in the day
Sorry.
2.
Sorry. Yeah,
Which is what I said, which I did not misrepresent.
You're on day 2.
Haters gonna hate.
I'm over
man.
here criticizing and everything.
Support disguised as hate or hate disguised as support. Anyway,
that's me.
All right, I'm not perfect like him. I fried some eggplant last night. He's like, you should have used avocado oil. It's better for you. I'm like, hey, bro, I use vegetable oil.
I didn't
okay?
say like. I just said next time.
Next time.
I was just throwing it out there because you said you wanted me to help. Okay, don't ask for my help and then criticize how I give it to you. All right, listen. So what questions do you have?
All right. Question.
Okay.
Is there like a market? Okay, first of all.
Yep.
I travel a lot.
Yep.
I'm on the road a lot. Sometimes I need something quick to eat.
What do you do?
Okay,
Okay, for me, what I do is I look for any places like, you like Mexican food? Like burritos and things?
Love Mexican food.
Chipotle or Qdoba is where to go. They have them at almost every airport.
Okay.
You can go put your like the bowl burrito thing together or whatever.
How do you make it? Dress it up for me. I'm the guy with the tray.
Number one, we're not talking about veganism like 25 years ago when there was like literally nothing except for like rice,
pack your
water,
own
and
lettuce.
beans. Yeah, right. Pack your own lettuce and take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
But so nowadays they have like all these other alternatives like Impossible Meat or like or Beyond Meat, right? So you go to Qdoba and you do everything that you would have done other than the cheese. So you go and say, okay, I'll take that Impossible or Beyond Meat, whatever. It's just.
So they have that option.
They literally have it in Qdoba and in Chipotle. I think they just hold 2 different brands, right?
Okay.
So you go, you ask for that.
You doing bowl or burrito?
I do burrito.
Or do you do the salad?
I do burrito because it's just easier on the plane.
Okay.
It's easier to
you eat on planes?
Yeah, I eat on planes. I am an eater on planes. And I say
he's
sorry.
He's not perfect either.
I say sorry to the people next to me and they go, oh man, no.
You need to take the 365-day bankroll challenge and never eat on a plane.
No, I was on a plane. Right, I was on a plane in the middle seat, headed to AMSA's thing in DC. I'm sitting down. I'm like waiting on this thing to take off so I can crack open this. I think I got a bowl, right? A burrito bowl, whatever it was. And then
utensils. Go ahead.
I was gonna break it out, right? And then I'm waiting for this person to come sit down, and it's Jeff Palmer. So Jeff Palmer comes. Jeff Palmer comes and sits right down next to me, right?
That's what you get.
So we take off, and right before I'm thinking about when do I pop out this food, right?
And you're thinking, when's he gonna go to the bathroom?
Right,
He's got to go. He's got to go soon.
Right. No. So Jeff Palmer reaches down. He pulls out food too.
Oh.
So me and Jeff Palmer are like chowing down.
Now you're breaking bread.
We're breaking bread over Qdoba or Chipotle, whatever it was.
Man.
So that's the option I would go with. Any places like like taco places or like Mexican food.
All right, so I gotta go, but are there any drive-through options?
Okay, well, so Burger King just came out with a vegan Whopper.
Why the long face?
I mean, because it's Burger King, and I mean, I'm just like, I don't know.
You're hating.
know?
You still feel like you're supporting big meat.
Yeah, I really, I
Larry
mean,
Hoover.
I'm very happy. Like, I feel like that the vegan Whopper was not made to get like real like vegans to come.
You
to
feel
it.
like they sold out.
Yeah,
when
I
they
don't
sold
think it was like I think it'll catch a few vegans, but then also I think that is for people that are kind of like interested in it, maybe just want to try it out, and hopefully that'll get them to say, "Wow, this is actually possible for me."
You think
know?
it might be a gateway burger?
It's a gateway burger. It's a gateway. It's a gateway drug.
Dude, now that I know that, there's one around the corner for me. Because like sometimes you try to be vegan on a budget.
Right, yeah. And so like
that's the next question. Next question: how do you afford to be vegan? Because I feel like
so veganism is not necessarily like that's one of the things people say about veganism is it's super expensive, right?
tasty and affordable.
Yeah, like they think it's number one, not tasty and not affordable, right?
Or you're gonna have to pay up if you're gonna.
Yeah, like you got to go to Whole Foods every day to do whatever, and Whole Foods is a great option. But
I do see a lot of Whole Foods posts.
Whole Foods is really good actually. So,
I'm a Kroger man.
But for the most part, like where it becomes expensive is when you're trying to replace the look of your plate. Like I want to have a fake chicken breast here with a this and a that, like everything to look the same.
I want to trick myself into thinking this is a filet mignon.
Right, this is a filet. Yeah, this is the thing. You know, whatever. And those get to be a little pricey. But then at the same time, like if you go buy some Impossible or like some Beyond Meat burger patties or whatever to do your grill, they cost like $5. But then if you think about it, in order to you're spending maybe $2 more than you would have like on some ground beef that had the same effect. So it's a little bit more expensive. But for me, like if you're doing it on a budget, just go with all vegetables, grains, and anything that you like that would normally be a side to your old plates, and just kind of do some things with that. I mean, because you are taking like so when I go to a place and get I get all the things I need to get, some beans, rice, and vegetables and fruits and whatever I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
It's like $30-$40 and the thing is full. But then if I were to go grab the meat for the week that I would also put with that, then you're adding $20-$30 right there. So I actually save money on our trips.
All right. So now it's conference season. We went to Great Lakes together last week.
Yep.
What did you eat?
Okay, so this is no disrespect to Great Lakes Relocation Council Conference, right? But it wasn't just me. There was a couple other people there that were also in this vegan boat with me. And there were literally like no options, bro. I mean, normally like a conference is like they'll have like a little thing here and there, but it was like everything looked great, but there would be like cheese on it or something like that. It was like a perfect salad and super healthy, and then like
they just throw some feta on
goat cheese or whatever on top.
And y'all can't just like y'all don't just.
Nah, I mean I'm
kick
just,
it to the
I'm
side.
just,
At that point, it's tainted.
They had an amazing fruit spread, Oh, and then the pasta. I was looking forward to that. The baked potato. Remember, you guys kept saying baked potato bar.
Yeah.
It was mashed potatoes with dairy in it.
And they put some butter and some milk in there.
Put milk in it to make mashed potatoes. I mean, so let's not get too crazy. You know what I mean? But I mean, we weren't upset. I mean, because it's super easy oversight. Because if you're a vegetarian, you're good at that point. But vegan is a little extra.
It's not my brand of extra.
That's all my brand of extra. Okay, so and then you had a question the other day, like so you were about to pick up something, and then you were on the phone with me reading the label, right? So
give me a snack bar. So this is one of the snacks Thomas has brought to me.
So
let me see this snack.
Are we advertising
bring this over?
Cliff Bar?
Yeah, we're gonna shout out Cliff Bar. I've been eating these for a while, for all the wrong reasons apparently. So I was getting hangry.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock, I was getting that 5 o'clock feeling, which is like, where's my dinner? And so Thomas was kind enough to stop and get me a couple of snacks just to chill me out so I didn't say anything crazy on tape.
His sugar's getting low or something.
Yeah, I mean,
something.
Which is going to be another thing we got to talk about. But anyway, so how do I know that this sweet and salty caramel toffee with sea salt Cliff Bar?
So my thing is, whatever I do, just real quick, I mean, I'm not like looking at the 10,000 ingredients because everything has 10,000 ingredients on the back, and I'm not as picky as some people where they get to like, oh, I'm not gonna do organic cocoa butter, whatever. I don't know. But so what I do is I go to everything that you eat in this life has to have, if it has a label on it, it has to say contains, because that's for like people that are allergic to like peanuts or other things like that, right? Contains. So if you go straight to contains, it will say milk, eggs, whatever else, right?
Nuts, tree nuts.
Tree nuts, yeah, tree nuts. Like on this one, it says soy, because some people are allergic to soy.
Imagine being a vegan allergic to soy.
No, you just can't be vegan.
All right.
You got to go the other way. But so I just go straight to the contains, and normally right there to let me know. I mean, because some things will just look like, oh, that's obviously vegan, but then you'll look and be like, holy crap, that's.
All right, let me see. Let me see this.
What
contains.
you read earlier, and it said
I got a non-dairy creamer. Where is it? Supporting the
non-dairy
iPad.
creamer. And
I got
said,
a non-dairy creamer canister, and I'm like, sweet. I'm making my coffee. I said sweet over non-dairy creamer, which is the worst thing in the world. Anyway, I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna pour this sawdust in my coffee real quick, stir it up, and see what happens. And then just for giggles, I looked at the back.
Yeah.
It says contains milk, and it says non-lactose, non-dairy creamer.
I don't really know how that makes sense, but I think most creamers have to have, if they're dry creamers, they have to have stuff pulled out of it so it doesn't go bad. It can just sit in the thing forever.
All right, so let's read this Cliff Bar, which I ate one of, and you did not yet eat one of.
Because you're reusing it. I'd like to eat it. Hurry up, please.
Let's see if you feel the same way after this. Allergen statement: contains soy, may contain peanuts, tree nuts, milk, and wheat.
Yeah. So what they do is, they make all these things in the same they make them in the same factories. They change out whatever. You zoom in.
Not.
And then, so what they do is they have to say, because people are deathly allergic to certain things, and like in this case, if you were allergic to tree nuts, you couldn't even though they're not in there, they're not used to be in there, but there could be like a mild trace of it in this machine somewhere.
So this is a CYA thing, really. This is hey, I told you it may have some nut residue.
So if you eat it and then you die, they can say at least whatever. So almost everything says may contain, unless the factory is a standalone vegan factory, which is very slim to none. And that's when you start getting paying a little extra.
So cocoa butter, okay?
Yeah, cocoa butter is not butter. It's not.
What is it?
Butter is from like cocoa, like from the cocoa plant, like butter. They make butter out of it.
Cocoa beans, right? And the cocoa beans
and like
makes cocoa like chocolate, right?
Yeah, and then cocoa butter.
So they make butter out of that.
You've had cocoa butter, right, before?
I mean, I've
not had it, but
I mean, I've smelled it, but I feel like a lot of that's fake. I feel like they make it.
No, like cocoa butter is like from like how they make
I feel like it's shea butter.
They make like avocado oil. Avocado isn't necessarily like an oil, but they pull all the extracts out of it.
All right. Anyway, the people don't care about all this, but anyway, may contains is your Cliff's notes for Cliff's bars.
Contains, I go straight away and make sure that my little checklist is not touched. Like so, eggs, milk, and you're good.
Do you find that when you look at a lot of vegan products, there's a lot of reliance on corn syrup?
Things that are sweet, yes.
Because I was doing some research on this, and I've been vegan now for almost 2 days, and I'm finding a lot of corn syrup and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing what's up with the B12 issue.
So I guess
so let's tell people what the B12 is.
So B12, I don't really. Okay, number one, I don't really know what B12 is.
Okay, I'll tell you what B12 is. It's a vitamin, but it only comes from animals.
Because I think it derives like from germs that the bacteria that the animals have.
You cannot create it without microorganisms.
But then they get it from the earth, but there's no food that us humans actually would eat.
It's a byproduct maybe of
B12. Yeah, so they eat it. It comes from them. So most doctors will say hey, you need to take a B12 supplement.
So do you take a B12 supplement?
I don't.
No. You concerned about your B12?
No.
It can cause like mental issues.
I've lost a few brain cells over the last couple of years.
Noticed.
So so basically what I once you start making like any of these products, if you go grab, that's the thing, like when people go vegan, everybody gets weird or like, what's on the back of this thing? Like, what's in this? How does it make this happen?
Right.
But then when have you ever looked at the back of a Snickers container?
Rarely.
Right. So I mean, nobody ever looks at anything until...
It's hard to read it when it's all crumpled up on the ground after I've just demolished it in one bite.
That was the best response ever. So the thing is, when somebody says, "Hey, I'm going vegan," then everybody gets to be like dietitians, like, "Oh, well, what about B12? What about like your protein intake? What about?" But then when you're eating like just shoveling stuff, nobody ever says anything.
Nobody's like about that.
Nobody's like, "Oh, dude, that's
what's in this Velveeta?"
Right? Yeah.
What's in this Spam?
What's in this cheese? Like, what is cheese made out of? Like, I mean, obviously it's milk.
What's the pus count on this cheese?
What's the pus count? So, sorry guys, milk has.
If you're sensitive,
never mind.
It's about to get real. No, say it.
All right. So in order for milk to come to the shelf, there has to be it has to be under a certain cc's per milliliter of something of pus It has to be under a certain amount for it to make it to the shelf. So if they test it at a plant and it's over its pus count, then it doesn't make it. So it has to be under a certain amount. Not no pus. Just has to be under a certain amount. But then cheese or whatever, there's no restriction.
No pus count cheese.
There's
So
no
all the
FDA.
milk that doesn't hit the shelf because it's over the pus count, it goes to the cheese factory. Is that what you're saying?
Probably. That's a good way to. It probably happens.
I mean,
That
they
way.
don't just throw it out.
Yeah, they definitely don't just throw it out. It probably goes to the cheese factory and then it gets made into solid pus for it to melt so juicily over your burger. That was so
Nasty.
disgusting. Okay, so other questions about veganism. What do you? So basically, what I would suggest.
How
would
much?
be-
What? Okay. Question
Okay.
is all the people I know that have recently gone vegan in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Black people. Why is that?
I don't know.
You notice that?
Let's talk about this probably, and I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark because it's the first time I even thought about it. But there are a lot of black people going vegan, right?
Mhm.
And I think because historically, I think for our community, we've been very unhealthy.
Chitlins.
And
Neck bones.
and then let's
of
not
it.
even talk about why we eat probably what we eat. So you get to our diets, and if you just go to a black neighborhood or black area or heavily populated black area, you see you get that's where you go to go get your Popeyes like chicken sandwich, and that's where you go to like the 50 liquor stores down the road. And it's not because like, oh, black people always just just want this stuff. It's just that's just
It's a
it's-
it's a legacy of poverty
and it's cheap, it's quick, and
So-
that's where the money is, and that's so it just keeps happening, and it's a cheaper way to eat, and it's just how how our culture has been raised off of certain like that comfort food, and it's always just been historically unhealthy because some of the cuts of meat that we've done some crazy amazing things with are probably inedible if you don't cook it in this amazing way.
It's
right?
true, but it's also true in Latino cultures as
Yeah,
well.
right.
Like they'll have
Yeah.
menudo,
Yeah, and some
they'll
of
have
the
other
that-
things.
It's like the stuff that people didn't want
It's
way
poor.
back in
It's
the day.
poor food.
Right?
It's
Poor food, right?
Yeah, it's
And you
common.
have to put so many different things in it to get it a certain way.
Salt.
So you get salt. You got diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, all these different things that in our community, people will say just straight up. I've been told like, oh yeah, like black people are just predisposed to
Hypertension.
diabetes and hypertension, right? As if like just the melanin in our skin makes this all happen. And
Right,
that's not the case.
right.
It's the diet, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of the black people in this country maybe are just realizing like, yo, I'm done like with I'm done
Right.
with the stroke thing.
Right.
The shit ain't happening. You
Right.
know? Like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go out a different way. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm just like, that's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna continue just to keep perpetuating this thing like, oh, black people get this. So here's son and daughter, take
Right.
it,
Right.
So I'm showing my kids a different way of life that
Yep.
they can decide on their own. But they're definitely gonna see a healthier version of like, I can eat and live and have fun and run and do these crazy great things and have energy all day and not be weird about certain things. And I think that a lot of other black people are doing that too. They're trying to stop this whole like, black men don't live past a certain age.
Right.
And,
In this cycle.
yeah,
In the
it's
cycle.
a vicious cycle of just powerlessness. Of like this just happens. This is how I eat. This is how my grandfather ate. We gotta eat this.
Can't help it's gonna happen to me.
Right. But then you see like all the Whole Foods and things like that. We talked about Whole Foods earlier. The Whole Foods in Detroit that they built a couple years ago, or whatever, is the first time like I've even seen a Whole Foods possibly close to the hood, so to speak. And even at that point, that was meant.
Well, it used to be. Let's go back though. I mean, I was told this by my good friend Brad. He was telling me that Detroit was like the last major city not to have a full-fledged supermarket within the city limits. It was a food desert.
Yeah, well,
you couldn't get proper nutrition in the city of Detroit for years, up until pretty recently.
Right. Yeah, because the thing was there's a bunch of grocery stores all over Detroit, but
Like
there was
corner
no major.
stores,
Yeah, there's
like-
no major. I mean, there's like full out like food giant type of situation, but there was no like major chain.
Okay.
Like there was no Kroger.
Is
there was
that
no,
it then?
And there
All
was before, but when Detroit went down and after like the race riots and things
After
like that,
white flight.
then they just everything
Yeah.
went with them, and
Yeah.
and for the fact that Whole Foods just jumped in there, and then they also probably got it at a pretty good time because the downtown Detroit's changing,
Yeah.
so that's kind
Well,
of
they're part of the gentrification
so
too.
they're-
So I mean, there's good
but
and
that's
bad
cool.
with that.
That's cool.
But anyway, that's so interesting. People don't think about food like that, you
No,
know. But
no.
there's so much to it. So anyway, so I've realized like I've got to change these habits,
Mhm.
because habits are passed down to our kids
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
My wife told me this the other night. She told me that one of her biggest fears is that if she were to die, that her kids wouldn't have a healthy lifestyle.
Oh man.
I was like, I thought like your
You're like,
biggest
what
fear
about-
was that I would die and then you would have to figure something out.
Right. She's
But
like, no, I got
she's
that.
like, no, I got a life insurance
Oh, that's-
policy you don't
that's
know
tough.
about, but it's really more about my kids. She doesn't
Right.
want. So I'm like, I got to do a better job as the
Yeah.
leader of my home and everything,
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm glad you've inspired me with this vegan thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not committing to this thing long term, but I do want to try 30 days. I want to measure how I feel. And then I want to see if it allows me or gives me the energy or supports me
It will.
to do the exercise component of this, which is
Okay.
the third pillar in the
So-
Thomas Bailey
So
30-day challenge.
Ben called me saying, he's like, so I'm doing this thing, 30-day challenge. I'm going to eat vegan for 30 days. I'm not going to drink for 30 days. And I'm going to work. I'm going to do exercise. And I was like, well, first thing, what are we going to do? 3 days a week, right?
And I was like, I'm going to exercise every day for at least 20 minutes, get my heart rate up, whatever.
And I said, don't down me, Ben.
And he's like, don't do that.
Don't
And I'm
down
like,
me,
what?
Ben.
I thought you were going to
No,
throw
but
a
I mean,
parade.
honestly, not number one, there's people on this planet that if they stop drinking for too many days in a row, they'll have issues, and you could die from stopping.
So far, so good.
So far good. You're not shaking. We're good, right? But that's a real thing, right? And because you're tons of sugar in that your body's gonna be missing, so you'll like sweets more. Because I didn't eat sweets forever until I stopped drinking, so be careful with that.
Okay.
There are vegan sweets if you need them. Like Oreos are vegan. But don't get
pretty
crazy.
sweet, yeah.
Don't get crazy.
I definitely hit 2 Oreos up last night.
Oreos are very vegan, which is weird. But so I eat those a lot. So
Exercise.
Exercise. So
Don't
basically
kill
what I said was just let's do 3 days a week, which is more than you're doing before, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be straight up gym craziness, but I would definitely say 20-30 minutes of like some brisk walk or something that you feel comfortable with.
the
And
heart
if
rate
you
up.
got the YMCA thing or wherever you guys
Mhm.
go, just get somewhere, jump on a bike, get the heart rate up, get going, sweat a little bit, feel good, jump in the sauna for whatever, And then
What does the sauna do?
the sauna just makes you sweat profusely, and it
Why
pulls
is
out.
sweat good?
It just gets to a lot of the toxins that normally come out through sweat.
What toxins do you have left, Thomas?
Well, I mean, I don't get in the sauna really. It's just too hot for me. Like I live in Detroit. I live in Michigan in the summer. That's enough of a sauna.
All right. So anyway,
Um,
so hit the
treadmill,
for
walk
20, 30
outside or
minutes.
whatever. I mean, this should just be a reason to get outside really. So while the weather's still good, get outside, go on a brisk walk. Like don't get in that thing where you're like texting and walking, moving slow. Get actually make it a.
Oh, that's a
make it
good
move.
point because I would probably pull that. I'd probably
make
pull that
it-
text and walk
I say listen to an audiobook or whatever,
Audiobook.
and then
Or
just
a podcast.
or some music, a podcast.
once
and
we
just,
go.
and just walk,
podcast.
right? And just walk
Yeah.
faster than you would if you were just walking to the cooler. You know what I'm saying? Get out
Walk
there
like
for
you're in a
little
bad part of town.
bit. Walk
Yeah,
walk like you're trying to get somewhere, right?
right.
So, and definitely do that. And I think that 3 days a week starting off. And if you feel like you said with the energy thing, if you feel after a couple of weeks you're like, wow, I feel like I'm into this now. Then just keep going with it.
So how do you? Okay, again, conference season. Got some
Yeah.
travel coming up.
Yeah.
How do you keep that exercise regimen on the road?
Number one, take your stuff with you. Don't get there and
Take
go,
your gym
oh, I
clothes.
can't. Like you see so many people, I was gonna run with you, but I forgot my shoes.
What's that include? What's you
bring
packing?
your gym shoes. For me, I bring my running shoes. I bring at least 2-3 shorts or something like that.
2 or 3 shorts.
I mean, depending on how they. I mean,
He's got little clothes, guys. I'm in 2 suitcases already, and now you want me to bring.
so if you got whatever, right? So if you're there for somewhere for 3 days, you're not gonna work out all 3 days because it's ridiculous. I
You
wouldn't
can't
do
wear
it.
the same pair of shorts like 3 days in a row.
People at the gym will hate you.
because they smell.
Yeah. Why would you want to wear the same shorts?
This is how little I know about working out.
You're like, can't you just wear the same thing for 7 days in a row? No, so you just
You wear it for 20 minutes.
Okay, so if
continue.
you're there for 3 days on this plan, right? If you're there for 3 days,
Yeah.
you're only working out 3 days a
On
week.
this
So just
plan.
take one pair of shorts, one shirt that you are okay with sweating in, and some shoes.
He had to say shirt. I'm okay, so because I'm like, oh,
You
shirt,
come in with
okay,
that.
cool. All right.
I'm not talking about like some I'm not talking about linen shorts and a button-up shirt. I'm talking about
And some
gym
boat
shorts,
shoes and maybe a fedora. All right.
some hooping shorts.
Hooping
right?
short.
Some
Okay,
hoop
now
shorts and a hoop shirt and some hoop shoes. Right? Now I gotta talk like in basketball terms.
Hoop shoes.
Where
I'm
you
gonna be
get
wearing
it.
some high tops. I'm gonna be wearing some
Where you get
and
it.
one high
Hey,
tops from
do
Walmart.
Do what you have
Yeah.
to do, right? And so pack those away, and then just
Separate underwear.
Get your butt. Yeah,
Are you
separate
packing double underwear then?
I bring man. Let's not worry about the underwear. I bring gym.
Don't worry about the underwear.
I have gym underwear.
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
you bring 3 pairs though?
If I bring 3 shorts,
Then you bring 3 undershorts.
yes.
Yeah, 6 pairs of additional pantish looking things that you're bringing.
Pantish.
And then 3 pairs of socks too?
Sure, Ben. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna do it in dress socks. Ben,
Fine.
don't start looking for
3
the
shorts. I'm just trying to be practical. I'm in the
Okay,
logistics industry, okay?
Right.
I've got some
3
I got some conference things coming up. I don't have
3
a lot of
shorts,
experience. I'm trying to understand this.
For you, okay, so yeah, so you're gonna be there 4 days. Let's just go 2. 2 shorts, 2 shirts, 2 socks, 2 underwears, 1 pair of shoes. Cool.
Got it. Yes.
Okay, good. So now that we've gotten past that part of things, right? And then just make sure you get down to the gym. Normally, when I check in, I ask where the gym is. Like, oh, they'll say, oh, it's on the whatever floor, or it's right around the corner.
Is that awkward running into conference people at the gym, or is it like cool because you're in a
really cool.
you're in a
It's actually
you're
like
in a workout
you're like in a little small club of people, and people say, "Oh, I'll see you in the gym in the morning," that type of thing. So
Do you do you set meetings like, hey, I'll see you at 6:30?
No, I don't do that. Normally,
elliptical?
people will though. People are like, hey, do you want to go in the gym in the morning? And like, oh, 6, and then normally I don't make it at 6 or whatever. Somebody doesn't make it, so I don't get too worried about it. So just get your butt down there. Normally in the morning, get it out of the way, because if you do it try to get it there at night, then you're probably cutting into when you could be out networking and stuff like that. So just wake up in the morning, get 20-30 minutes in gym time.
Are you a morning workout person?
Naturally, no, I'm not.
Any tips there?
I'm trying my best to become one, but I mean, the best thing for our lifestyle, to business oriented lifestyle, when everybody's on this LinkedIn thing, morning would probably be the best way to go. I mean, especially if you got families at home and things like that. Working out at night can be tough on the family.
So is the goal to wake up before the kids, knock it out, and then be there
whenever
dad of the year?
Whenever I do run in the morning, I wake my daughter up, and then she starts getting ready, and all.
So you initiate the get ready, and then you go out, and then you like wake up, and then you run out the door, and then by the time you're back, if you ain't out of this bed in the shower by the time I get back,
then my wife's up by then, and then sometimes I'll be gone while my daughter leaves to go to the bus, because she leaves at like 7.
Well, because this is important to me, because I feel like there's a lot of like devils in the detail kind of things.
Okay, so
and there's a lot of excuses that people use that pop up out of nowhere because they fail to plan appropriately.
Yeah. Like I said though, for the conference thing, if you know for sure you're going to a conference, do not try to say, well, I'm gonna do it at lunch, or it's just too many things that can happen that are more important. Your company spent a lot of money for you to be there. Don't try to think that you're gonna throw working out in.
But this is where that whole like Keystone habit thing comes from, right? Because if I'm still drinking, there's absolutely no way I'm going to the gym at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, knocking out 30 minutes of cardio, getting dressed and whatever, and then hitting an 8 o'clock breakfast.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
So don't drink, and then wake up in the morning, do your thing, get it done, and you'll be surprised. Like the reason why I want to get to the morning, number one, is to spend more time with my family. Like tonight after this, I have to run, which is stupid. But so I do it in the morning because you get your whatever's going. I can't. Your
metabolism,
your endorphins get going and things like that, and you think that you'd be tired the rest of the day, but you have it sparks you up. It's like start your engine, and at that point, if you work out in the morning, or in like in my case, if I run in the morning or whatever, I feel like the day has nothing that will hit me that I can't do. If I've already pulled myself out of bed, worked out, but I didn't really want to do.
Right.
And then the day is smooth sailing from there.
One of the things too is when I have done this before and worked out in the morning, when I do the podcast thing, or the book on tape, whatever, Audible, I usually get so jacked up for the day because I'm like listening to 30 minutes of motivation or self-help.
It's like a double whammy,
Oh my gosh, I'm just like
and then you can just approach the day with like just a devil may care attitude.
So anyway,
so basically, that's what I would say for a conference, and then just your normal lifestyle. Find out what works for you. Like if morning is the time. If you can look at your day tonight, when you think about your day, when would I have time to work out, which would fit my family and my work schedule?
What I like about what you're doing too is you're like, yo, just go for a brisk walk.
Yeah,
you don't even need a gym membership for that.
No, you don't. Like the movie just came out. It's called Brittany Runs a Marathon. It's actually a really good movie. It's about a girl. She goes into the gym and she's like, okay, well, this is a great gym, and she just gets the tour, And the guy's like, okay, well, blah, blah, just a monthly payment of just $145. And she's like, oh, $1.45? That's great. And he's like, no, $145. She was like, you do know that people can go outside and do that same thing for free.
Mm-hmm.
So she just said, forget it, walked out, and she just started running. She ran a block and then ran the 2 blocks, and every day she just did something different. So
Wow.
get out there, do your thing, try to get a little faster as you move along, and you can do everything outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try that. I guess I'll walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, and you have
Such a
a beautiful
foreign concept.
neighborhood.
Thank
And
you.
I bet you once you get outside, you're gonna see a bunch of your neighbors outside that you
I
wouldn't
don't know
have
if
seen
I
before.
want to see my neighbors.
Well, they want to see you.
Anyway, there's a lot going on
They wanna
here.
see
There's a
you.
lot to unpack.
Okay.
Thomas, here's the deal. I'm gonna keep you up to date daily
Yeah.
on how my Thomas Bailey 30-day challenge is going.
And
If
I'm
you-
gonna be a chef for him, really. Not a chef. Sorry. Whoa.
No, whoa it back.
A food advisor. He's gonna text me, call me whenever he wants. And if you're watching this and you have my number, you can text me too and ask me about food choices. I'd be happy. It makes my day.
You didn't look happy when you offered. You're like,
I had to think about how many people watching this possibly have my number. And it's not
probably
enough.
everybody that watches this has your number because that's the only people that watches our friends.
Right, dang it. So yeah, you
Appreciate
can hit me
you.
up. You can hit me up.
And then so you're gonna be my daily, my sponsor through
yeah,
this
I'll be
journey.
a sponsor through this journey.
And then you guys out there in the public, I need your help. So if you see me, you need to be nice to me while I'm going through this because my sugar's low and I'm probably pretty cranky about it.
Yep.
And I'm probably wearing, a piece of underwear that I probably worked out in that day because I didn't pack 8 pairs like Thomas told me to.
Yes.
So take it easy on me, all right?
Take it easy on them.
Buy me a club soda.
Oh, real quick tip: if you're going to a conference and you fill out the registration, dietary restrictions.
I did that today.
They have a vegan
A
option
vegan
normally.
today. I
and
did
they,
it.
And they will bring you, they bring this stuff out to everybody, and then they bring you this plate that looks so amazing because the chefs for some reason want to show out I can do
too. Vegan.
And then people go, oh man, what do you have? And then they're all in your plate while I'm vegan and all that stuff. So they will give you options. Most conferences will hook you up. And that's what you got to do. Say vegan on there. And even if you're not vegan, but you just really want to make sure when you travel healthy, throw vegan or vegetarian on the restrictions. And it'll just give you one less option to sit there and scarf down a steak and a chicken breast. Because normally they try to give you both.
Yes.
So don't double up on that. Go. Yeah.
No, I'm excited about it. It's been challenging so far. I literally probably had whatever these bars are for dinner tonight. So I got to start to broaden out a little bit, but I had eggplant and mushrooms in the same meal. Some days I don't even have a vegetable with my dinner.
Yeah.
So, already I'm making good choices.
And then after the 30 days, you can decide what you want to do from there, because then you'll have a new feel and look, and because by then your whole taste bud thing will be like, I feel a little different about food, and then you'll be able to decide what you want to do. Because you don't have to go vegan for the rest of your life, but at least you got a reset button, and you can start from there and see what you want to do after that.
I had a lot more to talk to you about, but I think we're running out of time. Hit the magic hour mark. So.
I love you guys, but I love you
too.
more,
Oh,
and I'm
me
really
too,
glad
man.
you're taking on this challenge, and it meant a lot for me that you actually hit me up and said, hey, I want to do this, and you named it after me.
Dude, you're an
That's
inspiration, man.
Impressive. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, and Ben doesn't know it yet, but I was told at this conference that you're going to be running a half marathon next year.
Bro, if that happens, I don't know, man. We're gonna have to write a book.
On that note,
I'm gonna become a professional public speaker, and you're gonna have a book deal, and this whole thing's gonna get out of control.
and this is the Gross Up. We love you.
Love you, man.
Peace
Take
out.
care.